Congratulations, that was actually really organized. That was the best one we've had so far. Okay, so we have our Deputy Clerk Lynn working, so we have no Trish today, so I'll try to slow down. If you didn't hear anything, let me know.
Okay.
Okay, Clerk, call roll.
Trustee Braga.
Here.
Trustee Benford.
Here.
Trustee Oliver.
Yes.
Trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Yes, approval of the agenda for Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018.
So moved.
Motion Trustee Burgess.
Second.
Second Trustee Oliver. Any questions? Call roll.
Trustee Braga.
Yes.
Trustee Benford.
Yes.
Trustee Oliver.
Yes.
Trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Yes. Move on to the minutes. Approval of the minutes for Tuesday, September 25th, 2018.
So moved.
Motion Trustee Burgess.
Second.
Second Trustee Oliver. Any questions? Call roll.
Trustee Braga.
Yes.
Trustee Benford.
Yes.
Trustee Oliver.
Yes.
Trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Yes. Next would be the minutes for Tuesday, October 9th, 2018.
So moved.
Motion Trustee Oliver.
Second.
Second Trustee Burgess. Any questions? Call roll.
Trustee Braga.
Yes.
Trustee Benford.
Yes.
Trustee Oliver.
Yes.
Trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Trustee Supervisor Mayor. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Yes, before I forget to say it. Supervisor report. Letter A, ordinance establishing rules regarding public participation at township meetings. The board should have the ordinance, it would be number 18-07. I'll read the ordinance for you. Rules regarding public participation at township meetings. Whereas the state of Illinois has enacted the Open Meetings Act, 5 ILCS. I'm not going to read all the numbers, if that's okay. Any person shall be permitted an opportunity to address public officials under the rules established and recorded by the public body. Whereas the opportunity to address the township officials at the township's meetings is an important right and duty of the residents of DuPage Township. And whereas the township board, to assist them in making the best decisions on matters that elect township residents that affect township residents, values the input, thoughts, and comments of township residents and believes that said public input is very helpful in carrying out their official duties. And whereas respect for the duties of township officials and the democratic process should be adhered to, and in this regard, standards of civility and a sense of decorum at all township meetings must be maintained. And whereas DuPage Township desires to adopt these rules concerning the time, place, and manner in which members of the public may address officials at township meetings in order to maintain decorum at public meetings, and in order to ensure that the public meetings are effectively conducted. Now therefore be ordained by the Supervisor and Board of Trustees as follows. In order to secure the rights of the residents of DuPage Township to a fair and just representation before their elected officials, and in order to guarantee those duly elected officials an orderly and dignified forum in which to represent the rights of said residents, no person shall be allowed to engage in any activity that will disturb or disrupt the orderly proceedings of any public township meeting. In order to obtain the objective, the following rules of conduct are established. Any person who desires to address the township board or any other subsidiary board of the committee of the township at the time allotted by said board for public comment shall be permitted to speak only upon recognition of the presiding officer, and, in so speaking, such person shall adhere to the following rules and provisions. Each person addressing the board shall state his or her name for the record. Each person shall be granted no more than 3 minutes per meeting to address the board, unless such time is extended by the presiding officer. Commentary shall be limited to township business. Commentary shall be directed to presiding officer unless that officer permits the commentary to be directed to the board members or other officers present. Profanity shall not be used in any form or matter. Questions regarding specific elected officials, officers, or employees of the township will not be entertained. Questions of this type may be addressed in writing to the presiding officer, who shall determine the appropriate method of response. Commentary shall take place in a professional manner which displays mutual respect for all persons involved. 2. Members of the audience will not engage in conversation about the meetings in session. 3. Members of the audience will not be permitted free movement about the meeting room while meetings are in session. Members of the audience may enter or leave the meeting room at any time provided such entrance or exit is made quietly and in an orderly fashion. Cameras, including still cameras, movie cameras, and television cameras using flashlights or lighting equipment other than the normal light furnished in the meeting room will not be permitted while the meeting is in session, unless otherwise permitted by the presiding officer. Battery-operated recording equipment will be permitted provided the operation of said equipment is silent. The microphone or sound recording device shall not be placed in the section of the meeting room designed for the use of the public officials unless otherwise permitted by the presiding officer. No audio or visual recording equipment may be used or set in any manner as to obstruct the view of any person in the audience. Individuals who appear to be visually intoxicated or under the influence of any drug will not be allowed to address the board. Bless you. The consumption of any food, and by the way, that's not in there. The consumption of any food product is prohibited at the meeting while the meeting is in session. Number 9, the presiding officer at each meeting or his designee shall be responsible for the enforcement of the provisions of this ordinance and shall be empowered to reprimand and or eject any other persons violating the provisions of this ordinance. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion trustee Burgess.
I'll second it.
Second trustee Oliver. Questions?
I have a question.
Trustee Benford.
Items, can you, I guess I'm trying to make sure I understand items C, D, and F. Are those things that are, we're not putting anything in here that's not currently a part of the Open Meetings Act, right? So anything in here is not a violation of the current Open Meetings Act?
Yes, correct.
All of the wording,
In my opinion, yes.
in your opinion?
Any other questions from the board? Any other questions from the board? Call roll.
Trustee Raga,
Yes.
trustee Benford,
No.
trustee Oliver,
Yes.
trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Yes. Letter B. DuPage Township Resolution 18-1808, I'm so sorry. This is vendor resolution, whereas DuPage Township is an Illinois township created pursuant to the Illinois Township Code. Whereas the township contracts with various vendors to provide goods and services necessary for day-to-day operations of the township. Whereas section 80-10 of the township code authorizes the township to pay expenses in advance to the township board, approval of the expenses provided that payments are made pursuant to the board resolution, and provided that the expense be reviewed and verified at the next meeting. And whereas the township board desires to authorize the supervisor to pay the following categories of expenses when due and to submit the invoices for said expenses for review, approval at the next regularly scheduled meeting at the township board of trustees. 1. Regular expenses for the upkeep and administration of township facilities, equipment, vehicles, and programs which require payment prior to the first available opportunity to present said expenses or expenses to the board for review and upon approval. 2. Other expenses, up to including the amount of $2,499.99, which are necessary to fund previously budgeted and or approved township programs and which require payment prior to the first available opportunity to present said expenses to the board of review and approval. And whereas the township board desires to authorize the supervisor to, in cases of a bona fide emergency, pay any other expenses that are unexpectedly arise and which cannot be delayed in the considered discretion of the supervisor until the next regularly scheduled township board meeting. And whereas the township board believes that in order to avoid any miscommunication between the township and its various vendors, it is the best interest of the township that any and all communications with any and all township vendors be made exclusively by the township supervisor or his nominee. It is hereby resolved by the DuPage Township Board of Trustees that A, the supervisor is authorized to pay the following categories of expenses prior to the submission of the invoices for said expenses to the Township Board of Trustees for review and approval. Number 1, emergency expenses necessary for upkeep and administration of township facilities, equipment, vehicles, and programs. Number 2, regular expenses for the upkeep and administration of township facilities, equipment, vehicles, and programs, which require payment to the first available opportunity present said expenses to the Board of Review and approval. And number 3, other expenses, up to including the amount of $2,499.99, which are necessary to properly fund previously budgeted or approved township programs, and which require payment prior to the first available opportunity to present said expenses to the board review and approval. The invoices for all such expenses shall be presented to the township board for review and approval at the next regularly scheduled meeting after said payment. B, the supervisor or the supervisor nominee shall be the sole contact for any communication with any township vendor. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion, trustee Burgess.
I'll second that.
Second, trustee Oliver. Any questions?
Yes. Would you be able to just explain a little bit for everybody in the audience, number 3, what other expenses? 'Cause I'm sure people are wondering, like, and just off the top of your head, just like what would be situations? Because I know this will be a question that'll come up later. Well, what are the other expenses?
Later on in the agenda, you'll have, for example, repairs to vehicles
Okay,
that we've held that back. We kind of want to take that away right now, so we can actually get it repaired.
you get the best price.
And we actually had an instance at a prior meeting, something that we had already approved that we were gonna do, and the bill had to be paid, but
Yeah, we've had
we had
to
to wait to do it. I don't
Yeah.
know what it was, something to do with the
Okay.
senior program, so those type of things.
Oh, the senior trip, yes, it was the senior trips,
Yeah,
yes.
no, that's fine. Okay, good.
Question, trustee Bedford.
Would the vehicles fall under item number 1 and not under 3? Because number 1 notes emergency expenses and it lists vehicle.
Item number 1 is for emergencies. For example, the toilet's back up, and we gotta get a plumber in here, and it's gonna cost $4,000 to stop the water from filling up the place. That would be an emergency. Vehicles, the issue will be a vehicle, that's the reason for the, what is it, number 3. So say, for example, a vehicle breaks down, we have to get it fixed, that would be up to that $2,500. That wouldn't be so much an emergency, that's the reason for the number 3. And the only time this is done is if it has to be done before the next meeting. Otherwise, that's the only time. So it's not all the time. It's just one bill has to be paid. For example, electric bill is due. And the meeting's not until 4 days after it's due. Things of that nature.
And then I have one other question. The last whereas, is that standard language in vendor resolutions where it's in the best interest of the township that all communication be through one individual?
I don't know if it's standard, but I think it's a very good idea, and that's why I included it. It's up to you guys if you want it in there or not, obviously.
I guess my.
Because you don't want miscommunication where a vendor might say, well, talk to this trustee, give this price to this trustee, and this price to the supervisor, and starts playing you guys against you. You got one contact and one contact only. That's why I think it's a good idea. It's up to you guys if you want it in there or not.
I think it's
That's what
standard
I was-
business.
Hold it, 1 second, Mayor.
I was asking you the question after the last meeting, so does this involve the bidding process too? How does that work?
No, things that go out for bid, things that are required to go out for bid have to go through this regular bidding process. That's
I
different.
mean, but how they return to us, sealed, open, does an email, does that play a role in this? That was the question I
This
was
has
asking
nothing
after
to
the
do
last
with
meeting.
bidding. This is for, emergencies wouldn't be applicable to bidding, and these dollar amounts are not applicable to bidding. Bidding is things, non-professional services over $20,000.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Call roll.
Trustee Braga,
Yes.
trustee Benford,
Yes.
trustee Oliver.
Yes.
Trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Yes. Letter C, acceptance of the 2017-2018 DuPage Township Audit RFP. We put it on the website. This board previously approved the audit RFP. Trish Stack did everything that she is required to do. And in front of Lynn is the only one that we received back. Since it was the only one that we received back, and because both Trish Stack and Lynn were actually gone on Friday, instead of opening up yesterday, because we normally would open it up on Friday at 4:30, it was said, I talked to Mr. Spini, he said, just leave it closed. So, you wanna hit it?
Okay.
Trustee Burgess. Thank you. It is from Mack and Associates, 116 East Washington Street, Suite 1 in Morris, Illinois, 60450. transmitting a letter. I do apologize, but Mr. Spina said definitely wait. Dear Mr. Mayor, Mack and Associates PC is pleased to introduce our firm and submit the following bid proposal for auditing services to DuPage Township, Illinois for a year ending March 31st, 2018, with options for 2019-2020. As outlined in the following proposal, we prove that our experienced staff were committed to providing the highest quality of service. The proposal illustrates why Mack and Associates PC is qualified to serve as the external auditors of DuPage Township. Mack and Associates PC is a local firm that is dedicated to providing clients with small firm attention and large firm experience. Having over 20 years of experience performing audits, I am confident my staff and I are the best suited to be the service to you within the required time frame. All accountants and CPAs on staff are qualified to perform audits, and each staff member has met the continuing professional education requirements prescribed by the government auditing standards to enhance our proficiency to perform audits. As accounting and auditing standards are changing, requirements for public accounts are increasing. We participate in ongoing peer reviews to ensure we are complying with all regulations. Mack and Associates will audit DuPage Township financial statements for the year ending March 31st, 2018, with options for 1920. Our audit will be conducted in accordance with the auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America. Let's see, that's page 1. Independence, firm history. The firm was founded by Marvin Smith in 1965. Quality control. They are part of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the Illinois CPA Society, and I believe it's AICPA Government Quality Control Center. They list the quality partners, continuing professional education. Get to the good point. I'm sorry it's taking me so long. I have not read this, so I have no idea what they're talking about that I don't know. Is there anything else in the... Oh, here we go. I'm so sorry. Contractual agreement between Mack and Associates PC and DuPage Township. Mack and Associates PC and DuPage Township hereby enter into an agreement for auditing service. As stated in the proposal, Mack and Associates PC will perform auditing services and meet the audit specifications as agreed upon for the following fees. They have March 31st, 2018, $32,500, March 31st, 2019, $33,500, and March 31st, 2020. That is their quote, and that is the only quote that we received. So, a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Burgess.
I'm gonna second it.
Second, Trustee Oliver. Any questions? Yes, sir.
On the issue, this is professional service, and I know that you wanted to make sure you had a completely independent person doing the audit, and that's why you put it out to bid. The board is not required to put professional services out to bid. So if the board didn't want to go with this person, you don't have to go with this person. That's, just leave it at that.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Call roll.
Trustee Raga,
Yes.
trustee Benford,
Yes.
trustee Oliver,
Yes.
trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Yes. Letter D, PACE Paratransit Local Share Agreement. Dear Supervisor Mayor, on November 14, 2018, the PACE Board of Directors will approve PACE's 2019 budget, which includes funding for dollar right programs. You are receiving this letter in September to facilitate the agreement process. It is anticipated the PACE Board will approve the budget at the November meeting. If there's any changes made to the closed agreement, PACE staff will notify you at the time. Enclosed are 2 copies of the proposed dollar ride local share agreement between PACE and DuPage Township. Also included in the cost estimate worksheet, which shows projected costs, ridership, and PACE's 2019 budget subsidiary for your program. Your current local share agreement expires on December 31st, 2018. Please be advised that a dollar ride service will not be allowed to continue beginning January 1, 2019 unless the 2 fully executed original agreements are returned to PACE in the enclosed envelope no later than Friday, December 14, 2018. Once both agreements are signed by PACE's executive director, we will return a fully executed agreement to you. Please feel free to contact Randy Comstock, Division Manager, and give us a phone number if you have any questions on this matter. So then we have PACE Paratransit Local Share Agreement.
Mr. Supervisor?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to suggest that the board table this. The main reason being, if there are changes made to the enclosed agreement, pay staff will notify you at the time. We don't even know what the terms are gonna be yet until they have that meeting, and we have until December 14th, so we'll be able to address this at the next meeting. And I'd like an opportunity to review the contracts and
Sure.
make sure everything's okay.
And then you do have the share agreement.
I think it's in the package that,
Yeah.
today.
Okay. So on the advice of the attorney, motion to table.
So moved.
Motion trustee Burgess.
Second.
Second trustee Oliver. Any questions? Call roll.
Trustee Braga,
Yes.
trustee Benford,
Yes.
trustee Oliver,
Yes.
trustee Burgess,
Yes.
supervisor Mayor.
Yes. Letter E is the RTA Regional Fair Program. Would you like to go down that same path?
Same path.
Motion to table.
So moved.
Motion
Second,
trustee Burgess, second
second,
trustee Benford. Any questions? Call roll.
Trustee Braga,
Yes.
trustee Benford,
yes.
trustee Oliver,
Yes.
trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Yes. Letter F. Bolingbrook American Legion Auxiliary Unit 1288. DuPage Township Supervisory Board of Members, Valentine's Day Cocktail Party at Levy Center donation. Dear Mr. Mayor and Board of Members, I'm Bolingbrook American Legion Post 1288, and as auxiliary would like permission to hold our Valentine's party at the Levy on Friday, February 1st, 2019. Our post and unit would greatly appreciate the donation of the use of the Levy Center for this event. Please feel free to contact me for any additional information. Looking for a motion?
Oh, motion to approve.
Motion trustee Burgess.
If it's available that day.
It's available. That's why it's coming to the board.
Second,
Second trustee Benford. Any questions?
Trustee Braga,
Oh, hold it.
oh, I'm so
Sorry,
sorry.
a little ahead of it. That's okay. Any questions? Call roll, please.
Trustee Braga,
The same.
trustee Benford,
yes.
trustee Oliver,
Yes.
trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Yes. Letter G, Bolingbrook Senior Club request for the Township Bus December 11, 2018. Supervisor William Mayor and DuPage Township Board. Dear Bill, the Bolingbrook Senior Club is requesting to use the DuPage Township bus to help with transporting the seniors to our Christmas party at the Bolingbrook Golf Club on Tuesday, December 11, 2018. Camelia Mitchell has agreed to drive the Levy Center, from the Levy Center, to the golf club. Seniors can make it to the Levy Center by Pace Bus. The Pace Bus will not cross the township line to the golf club located in Wheatland Township. So everybody knows in the audience, actually the golf club is literally 1,000 feet in Wheatland Township. The time of the drive would be pick up at the Levy Center at 11:15 a.m., return at 3:15 p.m. after the party. Our seniors look forward to this event every year. The senior club picks up the cost of our meal and entertainment. We would appreciate it if the township would pick up the cost of the bus and the driver. Thank you very much for your consideration of this request. If you have any questions, I'm available for questions. We usually host 165 members at this event, and we have between 15 to 20 seniors who use the Pace Bus. Judy Breadaway.
Do you know what the cost is, so we can just note it on here, or a range, what that fee is?
Sure, Linda, what would you say the range for Camellia for that period of time is?
Let's just do $15 an hour, 4 hours, $60. Take the gas.
So moved.
Motion trustee Benford, second trustee Burgess. Any questions? Call roll.
Trustee Braga,
Yes.
trustee Benford,
Yes.
trustee Oliver.
Yes.
Trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Yes. Letter H, review repair quote 2004 Cutaway E350. This is from Bob Martin. We have a couple different vehicles. We have the 2015 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD 6-liter V8. Has some issues, air conditioning, needs a serpentine belt, air conditioning expansion valve, air conditioning flush solvent. Total dollar amount is parts and supplies $626.04, labor would be $320, tax would be $52.96, which I'll talk to them about that. It'd be $999. So I think we can give the tax exempt form over to them, so that way we don't have to pay tax. So I'm looking for a motion not to exceed $999.
So moved.
Motion trustee Burgess.
Second.
Second trustee Oliver. Any questions?
Just saying that's cheap.
Call
Same
roll.
thing, same truck.
Trustee Braga,
Yes.
Trustee Benford,
Yes.
trustee Oliver,
Yes.
trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Yes. Letter I. Now it's a 2004 Cutaway E350 Super Duty 6-liter V8. This has a power steering leak, has a coolant leak, needs a cooler fixed, cooling system, and a radiator. Let's see here. Parts $637.89. Labor is $440. Supplies is $3, and tax is $54.22. And again, we'll give them our tax exempt form. So the dollar amount is $1,135.11. So I'm looking for a motion not to exceed that, and again, we'll give them our tax exempt form.
Bill, here's the corrected price.
What's that?
You did them
Corrected
backwards.
price.
so you-
Oh, I'm so sorry. You have the corrected price is $964. Thank you. So motion, yes, Linda.
Bobby asked me to relay kind of a statement to the board to make a decision what we want to do. This is the 2004 small box truck. We just spent $50,000 this year, the board approved for the big truck. We have another truck, this is the third truck. How much more money do we want to put into this truck?
So is he recommending to get it fixed, or is he recommending not to get it fixed?
He's recommending to get it fixed. I'm challenging and saying, how much more money are we gonna continue to throw at the backup truck?
Good question, but he's recommending getting it fixed.
Yes,
Okay, I think that's something we can address in the next coming budget year, which we'll be having workshop soon. But if Mr. Barton recommends us getting it fixed,
This is the third, so this is a backup to the backup. So it's the
Backup
third
to
truck, do
backup.
we use it?
we do use it for local. He's on the fence, I really shouldn't, throw him out there. Yes, he recommended to fix it. Let me leave it at that. I follow the eyes.
no, it's just if either he recommends it or he doesn't recommend it. So
Well,
he's
we're
saying,
kinda in that tough spot there. We don't wanna make the decision, to waste, to keep throwing money at this truck. The truck is 14 years old.
so you're not convincing me right here
No, I'm
that
not
that
convinced.
that he actually wants it. So how about we make a motion to table it?
Okay.
How about a motion to table?
So moved.
Motion trustee Benford, second trustee Burgess. Any questions? Call roll.
Trustee Ryder,
Yes.
trustee Benford,
Yes.
trustee Oliver,
Yes.
trustee Burgess,
Yes.
and trustee Mayor.
Supervisor Mayor.
Supervisor.
See the backup to the backup.
Alright. We have an email that was from Dave Locke to myself and to Linda Youngs and Amy Albright. Just a heads up, in the past, we've always had pies for Thanksgiving. Last year, we purchased them from Meyer at least 1,000 pies at a cost of around $4,000. Not sure what you have in mind for 2018. Last year, we had gift cards, which are not available to this time around. More of a donation we are to receive this fall from Enterprise. We have no knowledge of when or how much. A search of the internet is not much help. Basically, this is the pies that go into Thanksgiving meal packets that we hand out. So we already ordered the turkeys. This would be the pies, along with all the other information, or products that we give. What was it, 600-700 people down at the food pantry, and going to Greenleaf and all that. So this is for the pies. And the dollar amount's in the budget.
Yes.
Town fund.
Town
Town
fund.
fund.
Yes, sir. Looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion trustee Burgess.
I second.
Second trustee Oliver. Any questions? Call roll.
Trustee Ryder,
Yeah.
trustee Benford.
I actually had a question.
Okay. Oh,
Or just a statement. This is not being paid out of GA, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It is not.
Yes.
trustee Oliver,
Yes.
trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayor.
Alright, now, move on to forensic, even though just typo, forensic audit recommendation and process improvement updates. I'm going to hand you, there is no board approval necessary. Pass that down, pass that down. This is a DuPage Township organizational chart. This would be one of the items that was on the forensic audit recommendations. So as you see in front of you, DuPage Township residents, and it goes all the way down. Okay, there's that item. Next item, looking at some of the forensic audit recommendations, and I've been working diligently on getting some of the answers and improvements. We have cross-training of employees for the accounting system. As you know, we actually put out for a quote for a CPA firm to handle the day-to-day operations for right now. And then we also have cross-training between Linda and Amy working on that. So we are adjusting that policy. We also had cash handling. That policy has been changed, and a policy was put in place several times by people in this room, and making sure that we understand that cash is to be out of their hands as quickly as possible. I'm looking to do this for the next few meetings as things get locked down, make sure that we give you an update and keep you informed. Items for discussion.
Can we ask questions on it, even though we're not voting on it?
Sure.
I have two quick questions.
Sure.
So will we have written job descriptions for all of the procedures listed here? That's my first question. Is that the ultimate plan? And then the policies that you mentioned, will they be in writing as well for the board to at least have a
Yep.
copy of?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. All right, items for discussion, just want to make sure. Sorry. Okay. Last meeting, we approved for us to spend money for BKD to help us answer any questions that forensic auditor has. The forensic auditor had asked us for some follow-up questions to try to help us out with recommendations. With that being said, within the past week and a half, I've been working very diligently on making sure that all the forensic auditor's recommendations are implemented as soon as possible. As part of the process, I was in the office with Linda Youngs examining files, and we uncovered that clearly what appears to be a political candidate's campaign document on the computer of township employee. I informed Township Attorney John Spina, and at the instruction of Mr. Spina, then contacted our insurance employee, our employment attorney, Julie Brooke, for direction on what course should be taken. She recommended initially that we get a forensic copy of the employee's computer hard drive. The forensic copy of the hard drive was completed this past week, and I'm informed that the PDF file containing the campaign document was created during the working hours on October 25th, 2017. I want to let everyone know, in the board, in this room, that I'll be investigating this employment matter, including possible violations of the township ethics ordinance by the employee and others potentially involved. I will, with the assistance under the guidance of Mr. Spina of the council, will be interviewing the employee in question. I intend to inform the board and the public of the results of my investigation as soon as it is finished. That's all I have for items for discussion. Clerk's report.
No report.
Assessor's report.
Okay, assessor's report. We've been attending hearings at the county, and we're working on our appeals. They'll be done by the end of the year. And as a reminder, if you know anyone that's turning 65, remind them to come and sign up for their senior exemption.
Yep. Assistant Supervisor report, no report. Youth Department report, Kimberly, could not be here tonight. Senior Department report.
Okay, I have Maureen's report up here, and I can just report that we just had a fabulous trip to Nashville. Everybody enjoyed themselves, everybody came home safely, most importantly, and they all really, really enjoyed themselves, had a great time. And moving forward, this Sunday, I'm going to take them to the Paramount Theater to see a replica of Frank Sinatra and Barbra Streisand.
What day is it?
Sunday.
What time is it?
I'm taking them on a Sunday. Take note. We'll start out at 11 o'clock in the
Okay.
morning, and then we're going to go to lunch at the Roundhouse out there in Aurora,
Mhm.
and then on to the play.
And it's Frank Sinatra and Barbara Streisand.
And Barbara Streisand.
I bet you they do that movie that's out. A lot of those songs.
I'm sure that, oh yeah,
A
Star
Star
is
is
Born,
Born.
right,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, so they're looking forward to that, and then, so we have some other exciting things planned moving forward. I don't know if you want me to save those for each month, you know.
Unless it's coming up in the next month, yeah. Give you something
Yeah,
to
let's just end this month, we're going to see
Sounds
Frank and
good.
Barbara.
All right. Oh, and you want to give a little bit of what we did before this meeting?
Absolutely. Seniors had gone to Olympics for, in Springfield, they go every year, and they come back wearing all these gold, bronze, and silver, and platinum medals in these red, white, and blue ribbons, and they're just so proud, you know. And they engage in, you know, casting and bowling and just all kinds of different activities. Shuffleboard.
Shot put.
Yeah.
And it's funny, my favorite part is when the husband and wife go, and I always ask them, how many does the wife get and how many does the husband get, and see if there's any fights there with that scenario.
He tries to start the fight. Then Christine just wheels them in. Anyhow, yeah, so we had a meeting before that, giving out the awards and honoring them for their work. So we left them eating.
Nice, thank you. There is no GAEA banquet coordinator. I know you have a banquet.
She's up here too.
Okay,
Want me to read it?
I can read
Look at it? Okay, here.
I can read it. Thank you. Banquet report, profit for the past 2 weeks is $5,075.86 after salaries and liquor costs. In the last 2 weeks, I have taken in 3 new bookings, or for a profit of $1,350. 95% booked for the fiscal year with only 8 days available for 2018 to book. 60% booked for 2019 with no Saturdays available from April 2018 through October 2018. Hopefully a lot of not-for-profits won't ask for Saturdays. I already have 4 bookings for the year 2020. That's from Kelly. Okay. Attorney report.
Yes. I have been receiving emails, and something needs to be done about this. I received copies of 4 emails on Saturday between 1 a.m. and 3:31 a.m. From Trustee Benford to Supervisor Mayer, asking questions back and forth. And it's real simple. Trustee Benford doesn't have to answer Mr. Mayor's questions. Mr. Mayor doesn't have to answer Trustee Benford's questions, or anyone's questions. Trustee Benford wants to see documents. The clerk is the custodian of those documents. The clerk can go and talk to the clerk. And if the clerk, as custodian of those documents, doesn't want to just let you come and look at them, then under the Freedom of Information Act, you submit a request, and it'll have to be answered by the township. I can't just get an email that says, I'm sending you this email, don't read it and don't bill it, and then it goes on for 3 pages. I have to read it, so let's stop this. Let's stop this.
Okay. Anything else?
The rest of my report would have just been the ordinance and the resolution, that's all this week.
Okay. Next, approval of township bills at $58,623.35. Open payables of $45,226.72. Pay payables from 10/4/18 through 10/17/18 of $13,396.63.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Burgess.
Second?
Second, Trustee Oliver. Any questions? Call roll.
Trustee Raga.
Yes.
Trustee Benford.
Yes.
Trustee Oliver.
Yes.
Trustee Burgess.
Yes.
Supervisor Mayer.
Yes. Any old business, new business? Okay. Public comments. Hold on one quick second. So Lynn remembers 3 minutes. Yes, please state your name.
Judy Broadway, President of the Bolingbrook Senior Club. Thank you very much for the use of the bus. Second, I was asked to clarify something that I had said a few meetings back regarding general assistance. I did general assistance 20 years ago for 8 years. And at that time, there had been a class action lawsuit filed against all the townships regarding refusal of a township to submit an application to a person who had asked for assistance. And that was not it was not DuPage Township that refused it. And I want to clarify that. I understand it has come up in an FOI, and the township has never been sued as far as general assistance is concerned. This was a class action lawsuit that involved all 1,400 townships. They had to do some supervisor and GA training regarding general assistance as a result of the consent decree. And at that time, everyone was notified that if somebody comes in and asks for an application for general assistance or emergency assistance, you have to give them an application and then either refuse it or accept it. There has to be a paper trail. So that is clarification. It was never against just our township, it was all townships, class action lawsuit. And that was 20 years ago. So during the time that I did general assistance, which was 8 years, 13 years ago, I did it before with the supervisor that was here before Bill. We were never under a consent decree for the township alone. Township was never sued by anyone. So I just wanted to clarify that. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Next comment. In the back, sir.
Hi, I'm Wayne Macejak. I'm the current State Director for Veterans Affairs with the American Legion. Also a member of the Post 1288 here in Bolingbrook. However, I'm here on behalf of the Veterans Assistance Commission of Will County. Is the board familiar with the Veterans Assistance Commission? Okay. Veterans Assistance Commission has identified a need for a service officer here in Bolingbrook a couple days a week. And I'm here to see if there's any possibility of assistance from the township with a space, providing a space so that a service officer could meet with local veterans and assist them with their benefits.
Used to have.
I'm very interested in speaking to you after the meeting, and then we can get it on and we put on the agenda and have the board approve it. Thank you for your comment. Next comment. Yes, sir.
John Kraft, got a couple statements on the vendor resolution, the last whereas. If you could change from it is the best interest of township that any and all communications with any and all vendors be made exclusively by the township supervisor. Change that to it's the best interest of the township that any and all official communications with any and all township vendors be made exclusively by the supervisor. The way you're wording it, it leads people to believe you're infringing on the First Amendment rights and duties of public officials. And that there might be some blowback on contacting vendors. Also, on your public comment policy, commentary shall be directed at the providing officer. That violates the Open Meetings Act because public comment is directed at the officials, the public officials of the public body, not just the supervisor. Can be directed at Trustee Oliver, Burgess, Benford, Raga, or the town clerk, or any other public official of the township. So I'm asking you to change that. Define profanity. The United States Supreme Court has a good definition, and it's not the same as your guys' definition. F, questions regarding elected public officials will not be entertained. You don't have any choice but to entertain questions. people can ask questions of any public official or any public employee, and you can't do anything about it. Also define professional manner. In G, number 8, define food product. What is a food product? Is that a subjective definition? Is bubble gum food? Because if one person have bubble gum and somebody else have peanuts, Tic Tacs, what is that? We don't know. And if you, as an energy drink, food. Additionally, this is something I haven't written about. So it's not something that the police department would take an interest in yet. Maybe you could inform them and ask them to look into potential violations of the law. But I was reviewing your Citizens for William Mayor reports to the Election Commission. There, I noticed 3 donations from Association of Pakistani Americans to you.
Well, here's the thing, this is not township business, but you have.
It is.
Actually, it is.
It is.
And
I haven't gotten there yet.
Mr.
and you-
Supervisor, it's at your discretion if you'd like the gentleman to continue to speak.
It is township
I can
business,
only-
and you
I can
can't
only advise
approve
that
a
it's
public
important.
comment policy at the
Wrap it
same
up in
meeting it
3
takes
minutes
effect.
then.
I can only advise that it's important that you
3
you
minutes.
enforce the policy uniformly.
You can't enforce it the day you adopt it.
You had 3 donations from Americans,
Thank you, sir.
Association of Pakistani Americans, and then the township donated through the General Assistance Fund. Here's where it gets to the government business. $2,500 to that association, $2,000, $2,500, and another $2,000. So that's about $9,000 donated to an organization that donated $2,500 to you. It's a pretty good return on investment.
Okay.
Then I
Next
noticed you're a
comment,
Lions
please.
Club member. I didn't know that until the last meeting when you said something. You extended the bar, assuming with public funds,
What was that?
and then,
No, I asked for next comment.
and
I'm under advisement of the township
you
attorney.
can't institute a public comment policy at the same meeting it takes effect. That would destroy the effect of the law.
Mr. Spina.
You could change it
to
at
ask-
every meeting.
An ordinance is effective upon its passage unless it.
Where does it say that in the law? Don't you have to publicize those?
And while you're looking for that, can I get somebody else to
You
ask a
donated
question?
with the General Assistance Fund to
Anybody
the
else
Lions
have a
Club,
question?
$250,
Before this is over.
$150, $500, $1,000,
Sir,
$500,
sir, if you'd like to look at
$1,000,
section 65 LCS
$240,
5/1-2-4,
$250,
it specifically says that the
$500,
ordinance is going to take effect upon its passage.
$500,
You're being very rude right now.
$500,
No,
$250,
you're being very rude. 2 minutes ago, you were supposed to stop. You get 3 minutes.
You're not the administrator.
You get 3
and
minutes.
$1,000.
He has gone way over 3
You also
minutes.
donated with
And you're being very
He didn't tell me-
disrespectful.
He did not gavel and tell me
Excuse
to
me,
leave.
sir?
You have no
Sir?
authority to tell me to do so.
Sir,
Are you telling him to take him out of the room? That's the
Please,
question.
if he does not stop
You-
right now
you
and let
can't-
somebody else
You
speak,
cannot pass an ordinance at the same meeting it takes effect.
I listened to my counsel and that's what he said. And so, Mr. Craig, if you don't stop, I will ask them to remove you from the room. If anybody else would like to
You might
have a
as well
comment.
ask him, because you also donated to Strive Strategies,
Yes,
$2,400. Can you grab my arm, I'll keep, I'll be
No,
sure.
don't even do that. Don't give him the benefit.
Oh my.
Thank you.
He's playing a game. This is a game for him.
That's right.
That's the public.
There will
Hold
be
it,
a
hold
federal
it.
lawsuit. Thank you very much. Please escort me out.
Hold on 1 second, sir.
And you asked him very nicely, by the way. We get 3 minutes. I heard you, thanks.
Hold on, no public comments, I'm sorry, Mr. Reed. Okay. Next, does anybody else have, yes, sir, back there.
Gary Marshby. You have the second item, you had DuPage vendor policy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a purchasing policy that is already in effect for vendors?
I'm not sure, maybe explain a little bit differently.
Does the township have a purchasing policy? A written purchasing policy?
Go ahead.
The board votes on what they're going to do. This wouldn't be for something new. We're talking about things that are regular recurring bills and items.
Because one question I would have on it is, does the purchasing policy cover nepotism or conflicts of interest with either employees or board members or anything else with there?
I don't know if you have a policy or not.
So, according to the new rules, we're not going to get into questions and answers or debate. So, if you want, feel free to email me, give me a call, come to this, submit it, and I'll be more than happy. I have an answer for you. So, thank you very much for your comment. Next comment. Yes, sir.
My name is Steve Zerkis.
Yes, sir.
Simple question is on the meeting ordinance, open meeting ordinance. Did I understand or misunderstand that no video recording will be allowed?
No, video recording is allowed.
Okay.
It's just you can't set up lights and things like that.
Well, oh, okay, that's good. And the second question, you approved an auditor, just curious about the process. Is that the one and only response you had to your RFP?
So I'm not answering questions, but we have comments. Please submit that to me in writing, or see me after the meeting, or submit it. Next comment. Yes, sir, in the back.
Tony Timothy. I've been going to meetings a lot, and last meeting you made a statement which shocked me a little bit. Nobody in this township would ever probably think you're a racist. No. And I'm sure everybody here agrees with me. But you gaslighted us a little bit. I was here at the meeting with the Bolingbrook Raiders, where Ms. Banford here did announce she wrote a letter to the NAACP and the ACLU for discrimination. I mean, we get $3,000 to Cricket League, and some football league doesn't even get called back. I mean, they asked for $20,000, yeah, but they don't get called back. She thought they were discriminating against. At no point she ever said you were racist, nor in an article, nor ever. But we were made to believe, you gaslighted, told that she accused you of racism, where she clearly never did. Discriminatory, maybe. For what reason? God knows. Let them figure that out. That's what she said. It was kind of noble, maybe it was not. But for people to sit here and say that she called you a racist, I've never seen that. And I've been here for every single meeting, not once.
Thank you for your comment. Next comment. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Kirk Allen. Mr. Kraft had submitted a FOIA in regards to communications with one of the institutes that Dr. Ingram is in charge of, and the response came back that there basically were no communications. I'm just curious if the board still stands by that position, because I'm holding an email from a private email account, Ms. Oliver, and it appears that you drafted or forwarded what appears to be a draft public comment or response for Mr. Ingram to not sign, because you didn't want him to sign it, because that's something for attorneys to look at. And you didn't want being any part of the drama. But throughout this created response to the issue of the parade, the paragraph that I highlighted states, "This unfortunate situation is a result of Alyssa Benford not being direct with me about the intended use of the kids." Well, that was completely false. But this was drafted and submitted by your private email account, but it wasn't produced under FOIA. That's a problem. It's a FOIA violation. Had another FOIA that they redacted in white instead of black, redacted the case number to a particular case where one of your employees was called to be a witness. Now, I understand the case has been resolved, but case numbers to court dockets are not exempt. And no exemption was cited, but looking at it, the average person would never know there was a redaction. I've had this game played enough. You can see that it was misplaced out of there. After I questioned it, now I get all these exemptions and why it was redacted, but that was never part of the original response. In regards to FOIA requests and public officials wanting documents, I'll leave this for the attorney for case reference. This is from the Attorney General. It's been held public officials by virtue of the office is generally entitled to access information held by that public body, including information that might not necessarily be made available or accessible to members of the public. Ebert v. Thompson, it's a third appellate court district. A public official is generally not required to file a Freedom of Information Act request to obtain records of information needed in the performance of his or her duties. The reason I reference that, because that particular case dealt specifically with general assistance, and I left paper clips on some very key language from the court. And I'm not gonna read all of this, but the court made it real clear, the plaintiff is an elected public official. Part of the duties of the plaintiff as an elected official are to audit. As such, the elected official is entitled to reasonable access to the books and records necessary to perform that function. That reasonable access cannot be doled out by the teaspoonful. The whole opinion goes into great detail why they don't have to submit FOIAs. And the court's upheld it, and it's pretty clear. And that becomes a real problem from a relation standpoint of when you get legal advice to an attorney or to your board, that hey, if you don't get it FOIA, this would counter that. So from a protection from a potential lawsuit, I urge all of them to read this and apply it.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
Diane Clupper. One of these ordinances that you passed the last few meetings, I know this is a question, and tonight's ordinance about the way to behave and address the board, when will those be available online so we can actually read them? Are we supposed to see them before they're passed? And that's usually what happens at the Village of Bolingbrook, not that I'm comparing this to the village, but generally the public can see an ordinance before the board votes on it, at least have some idea what's on the agenda for the meeting.
Thank you for your comment. Please email me or see me after the meeting, and we'll address that. Thank you very much. Any other comments? Yes, in the back.
Jane Kelly, I have a question. All these questions, when you get the answers, are you going to post them somewhere so we could all see what the answers to the questions are?
That's a question, just email it.
So how are we all going to know what the answers are? Is there going to be like a posting somewhere?
Christina, I believe they said thank you very much for your comment, and we'll get back to you sending me an email. Next comment.
That was my question.
My name is Patty Drugan. I'm also a resident here of Bolingbrook. I had one, it's not actually a question. I just want to make sure that I understood, that I heard correctly when you were going through at the very beginning regarding the behavior. I want to make sure that that also includes the people sitting up at this table. If they're misbehaving, because what I saw on the videotapes that came out last week, it is an embarrassment for Bolingbrook and the way that folks behaved, and particularly one of the trustees and the way she behaved, Ms. Beneford. Is everybody included in that? So I will email you that so I can get a response.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Any other comment? Any other comment? Yes, sir.
My name is Jason McCann. I just have a question, or actually a statement in regards to the revised speech codes, essentially. So any restriction on freedom of speech is really disheartening, to be very honest. And I don't think that you should limit the audience or the public in any way whatsoever. You need to have transparency in government, transparency in every shape or form. You guys are elected officials, and you need to hear from us. And that's where it should be. So.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comment. Any other comment?
Vote.
Yes. Any other comment? Okay, seeing none. Trustees' comments. Trustee Benford.
No report.
Trustee Burgess.
No comment.
Trustee Oliver.
I just want to say how wonderful it was tonight over at the Levy Center celebrating the seniors. So full of life and happiness down there in Springfield winning their awards, and another 3.5 years I'll be down there too. And hope to come back with all the little medals for my grandkids too, to think is the greatest thing. So I just want to say I think the township does a great job with our programming. I think tonight was another win, watching everybody come back. A couple of the senior ladies shared that they had met some senior men. So it was a lot of fun watching this whole process take place. So I just want to say, as we get all tied up and everything else, let's not forget how well the township does programming for our youth, for our seniors, for the people in our community. And let's all just be happy and celebrate that tonight. That our seniors went down to Springfield, they came back winners, and they all got to be on camera tonight. So that's my report for this week.
Woo! Yes.
You get a t-shirt too.
Trustee Raga.
No comment.
There is no executive session on the agenda, so I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion trustee Burgess to adjourn.
Oh, I'll second that.
Trustee Oliver, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, we stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
By the way,
Yeah.
Please don't call us.
Watch videos.
Your liver case is a really important case.
I just wanna write these names down, and then I would take your escort to the ball. Yeah, sometimes I need to get to your.
You bet.
Interesting meeting.